Michael Shellenberger is a Substack columnist. He joins me now. Do you think these hoaxes have any chance of working, Michael?
Hey, it's good to be with you, Jesse. You know, I don't know, but I think it's interesting about the bloodbath word is that, of course, it refers as often to political defeat. And so it's hard not to interpret what's going on here as Democrats expressing their concern that they're going to suffer a bloodbath at the ballot box in November. But I do think there's a darker side to all of this, which is that Democrats have really they've weaponized the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, to really gin up a phony hate crisis, a violent domestic extremism crisis as a pretext. In fact, we saw an entrapment effort by FBI with the Michigan governor, fake kidnapping. We also know that January 6th, that there was still a fake phony pipe bomb investigation where the Secret Service deleted all of its messages. We know that the FBI has put out a phony map about it, and that they themselves knew that those so-called pipe bombs couldn't go off. We're looking at a significant effort to really conjure a fake domestic extremism crisis. It worries me, honestly. It's not so much I'm sure that people are going to fall for this or that, but I worry about the weaponization of America's intelligence, security, and law enforcement organizations as a way to try to manipulate politics and as a way to really use those agencies to target ordinary Americans, nonviolent Americans, for their political views. What is it about Trump that makes them so crazy? They always went dirty with Bush or with Romney or McCain. They always do the same stuff. This is at such a higher level. Why do you think that is? I mean, look, I think there's part of it is just the reaction by progressives to Trump's working class appeal. I think there's a lot of just cultural reaction to the vulgarity. I think what really concerns me, though, has been the involvement of the intelligence community. You know, we reported on and spoke to you a few weeks ago about the role of the CIA in creating the Russia collusion hoax to investigate and really impugn the Trump campaign. We start to see that with the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security. So it's really the marriage of those two things that really has me concerned, which is that they're going to start weaponizing the federal government against the American people as a way to, you know, try to engage in politics, but even more, you know, you see the victims of it, people being put away for really absurdly long times in jail and prison for participating in things like January 6th, far longer sentences than people are getting for violent crimes in places like California and New York. So, Mike, just the way they did Trump-Russia, is the bloodbath hoax, is the dictator on day one hoax, are those hoaxes pretexts to justify the FBI and CIA getting involved again in another election to lay traps for Trump? Yeah, and potentially, I would say, also to engage in censorship. I mean, this is really bad. I mean, we saw what basically happened with the rise of the censorship industrial complex in reaction to Trump was the U.S. intelligence community using tools that they had used to wage psychological operations abroad, turning them against the American people in a counter-populist effort. Huge amounts of evidence at this point involved people at the Department of Homeland Security, British military, American military. So that's what worries me, is that this is all pretext of a larger campaign to essentially to turn Americans against each other and for Americans to start to see Trump supporters as a violent threat to democracy. It's a great point. I think it is a counter-populism effort at the behest of very powerful corporations and very powerful people. Mike, thanks as always. Everybody go check out his Substack. It's hot. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.